The first entry in this series of mine was about a VHS called How to Score More Points on Nintendo Games, where a self-proclaimed world video game champion called Skip Rogers read unhelpful tips someone else wrote about parts of seemingly random video games, some of which don't have points to score, got baseline info about the games wrong, recommended using a turbo controller, and would regularly cut to avoid showing him dying or taking damage, or show footage from different playthroughs spliced together to make him look better than he was. Paired with the low production value, the bad editing, and having a credit for a baseball consultant in a video with 0 seconds of baseball or baseball video games, my VCR got secondhand embarrassment from playing this. But what if I told you they made another How to Score More Points video? Or to put it more bluntly, they made a sequel.
No.
Look, Blondie, you're the one who has the video series called They Made a Sequel. What did you expect?
And? You have $5 gaming. What if I asked you to cameo for every game I found for $5?
What, are you kidding? I would absolutely pretend that I didn't see your DM.
Alright, fine, then I won't do, Stunky Bones of the Ancestors, because that was a $5 WiiWare game.
I know where you live. Like the first one, this is a Kodak video, and it wasn't created or endorsed by Nintendo or any of the developers or publishers. Something they even make clear on the front label of the tape. Wait, Hulk Hogan was a Marvel trademark? As a follow-up to the first How to Score More Points video, let's see if they learned anything from— Nope, they advertised scoring more points in Simon's Quest, WrestleMania, and Blaster Master, which don't have scoring systems. Unless you stretch the definition of points to include experience points. Aside from the badly blown out screenshots, note how the runtime for this is 23 minutes. That's 11 minutes shorter than the previous video. The optimist in me says maybe they learned their lesson, trimmed the fat a bit, took out a bunch of the Kodak ads, had less of Skip stating the obvious. But the pessimist in me wrote the script for this video. I am so sorry. Well, it has the same 3 minutes of ads at the beginning of the tape, and the intro is copy-pasted too, from the intro graphics to the opening narration.
Hi, my name is Skip Rogers, World Video Game Champion.
The only difference is the games that spiral into existence. Even the clip of him begging people to mail in tips is the same.
If you've got any questions or suggestions, drop me a line. We can't answer all our mail, but we love hearing from you.
Skip starts with WrestleMania, which he calls the hottest game of the year. Although he has to pause before and after saying this to make sure the mic doesn't catch him laughing.
This is the hottest game of the year, as far as Skip Rogers is concerned. You get to be any wrestler you want.
Any wrestler you want, as long as it's one of the 6 wrestlers in this game.
Here's a flying drop kick.
That's not a drop kick. In fairness to Skip, the instruction booklet for this game also gets it wrong.
Those things flying by give you extra energy.
He's right, but only certain items can be picked up by certain wrestlers. Like here, Hulk Hogan's item is a cross, because God hates him. We then get a taste of the same style of out-of-place motion graphics from the first video, complete with a random key smash in between the exclamation points.
Andre's specialty is the body slam.
Okay, so Skip doesn't know much about wrestling either. After giving the helpful advice of, don't let Andre punch you in the face,
watch out for the backhand maneuvers.
He explains that the setup for a clothesline works best if the opponent is down first.
You can do the barge best if you start when the other guy is down.
Or the barge, he calls it the barge. Again, the instruction booklet got this wrong too, though the instruction booklet doesn't have a cheap motion graphic to go along with it. He then says to go for pins when the opponent's energy is low, which, thanks, Skip, that's how wrestling works.
This time, I'll be Ted DiBiase.
No, you're not. You're playing as Macho Man. How do you make this kind of mistake? And also, why is the opponent always named X-Man? I imagine that's the name of Skip's favorite character from the X-Men. He used to be about X-Man, and before that he was really on the X-Man train, but now he's all about X-Man. He doubles down on the mistake for the next 30 seconds or so by narrating as if he's playing as Ted DiBiase, which he isn't.
Ted kicks just like Hulk Hogan. His elbow smash is also devastating. My all-time favorite is Bam Bam. He reminds me of the Three Stooges.
Some of the only good advice he gives, or rather shows, is to corner the opponent and move spam them into oblivion. This is followed by him showing Andre the Giant again, and talking about the body slam, headbutt, and barge again. It's like watching someone play a match in their own e-fed. As for the tips at the end, wait, why is there still Mega Man music playing for this? There's no Mega Man in this video. One tip is helpful, two are obvious, and oh, Skip. Oh no. Oh, you really don't want to use the terms pills and wrestling together.
You need to master the moves of the ninja in this game.
The Lee brothers aren't ninjas, nor do they have ninja moves.
This game is arguably where Skip is at his most helpful, even though a lot of it is just stuff you would find in the instruction booklet. He does say to throw kicks instead of punches, but doesn't say why. It's because of their range and damage. I'll give him credit for showing the ladder cheese strategy, or the abobo on the conveyor belt strategy, even though it's been made clear multiple times that it's not really him playing and they like to splice together footage from multiple playthrough attempts. He also starts what sounds like an ad read for a controller and then abruptly stops.
Kids ask me what kind of joystick I use. When you play all day, you need a stick that's comfortable and stands up to a lot of gameplay.
I'm waiting!
He keeps recommending doing this very ninja-like hair pull grab, even though it requires getting closer than just kicking them and, based on his health bar and the life counter, led to taking a lot of damage. Most baffling is that after going completely silent for this stalactite section, he actually suggests jumping into this pit rather than doing some basic platforming.
Once you get underground, don't take the trolley. Go deeper instead.
Not only are there lava pits down there, but also more enemies and stalactites, which they conveniently cut away from. Hilariously, he has no lives left, and he's on his last hit point, and then he suddenly says,
"The rest is up to you."
And they cut away to the tip screen.
Apparently, the World Video Game Champion can only get about 2/3 of the way through Double Dragon. I'd like to imagine that somewhere out there was a kid who watched this and immediately wrote a letter to Skip asking how to get through the last 2 missions, and Skip read that letter, turned to the Kodak intern who played the video games for him with sweat dripping from his brow and said, "I'm going out to lunch," and then he walked out of the building, and he just never came back.
What the? Learn to block? There's no blocking in Double Dragon. And how come he didn't mention the points at all? Did he forget what his own video series is called? On to Blaster Master, where the footage starts in the middle of the first area and he says to go straight to the... ocean?
Once you get started, go straight to the ocean.
That's not... whatever. He also says to get out of Sophia and swim because it's faster, but really it's because that's the only way to reach the boss area and the Hyper Beam power-up. As for the boss, his advice is to stand next to it and... stand next to it.
Get as close as you can to kill him.
He then says to destroy the door guard for the next area, but in a game with a world map as big as Blaster Master's, not showing how to get anywhere makes his mostly unhelpful advice even more unhelpful.
This next section is one where I'm convinced the editor wanted to make the World Video Game Champion look as stupid as possible.
Let's take this moment to listen to what Skip says versus what Skip is supposedly doing in-game.
Cut through each room. Don't leave the path. Don't get into fights. Watch out for thorns. Fill up on energy. Use curved bullets to kill the bullet machine.
This is capped off by a jump cut in the middle of the Crabalus fight, and the helpful advice of leave the buggy often.
Because moving slower, taking more damage, including fall damage, and not being able to use the tank's power-up, that's the clearest path to victory.
Imagine a huge world filled with tons of inventory and magic spells.
Skip is the only one I know who would consider this tons of inventory and magic spells. He explains some of the basics, currency, getting around town, what the church does, before saying to buy the Thorn Whip, Holy Water, and White Crystal, though he doesn't specify where most of the vendors for these are. He doesn't show the broken bridge section at all, he doesn't go downstairs to the town of Veros, which is where the dagger is sold, and instead just goes straight to Berkeley Mansion and uses the crystal to stop. 1, this is the first mansion in the game, and somehow 11 in-game days have passed, so you can't get the good ending anymore. 2, he's supposed to have the Thorn Whip, Holy Water, and White Crystal. That's it. Instead, he has a ton of items from way later in the game. The Chain Whip, Silver Knife, Gold Knife, Diamond, Sacred Flame, an Oak Stake, the Red Crystal, the Silver Bag, and Dracula's eye, heart, and rib. Yes, the rib. The Dracula part you're supposed to get in the mansion he just walked into. You can even see Simon holding a shield while going deeper into the mansion, which is what equipping the rib does.
More like Skip Frogers.
He follows this by not buying an oak stake, because he already had one despite supposedly not going here yet, then saying to use an oak stake.
When you find the rib, use the stake and press the B button to get it.
After all this, he says to go back to the woods and take the path back to the town of Veros so you can buy the dagger and chain whip, which he already has. Why is he showing this out of order? He then does the same thing with the Sacred Flame. Even with him showing things most players wouldn't get easily, like how to get the silver knife, which he already had, or how to go under the pond, or the trick to reaching Dracula at the end, I can't even take this guy seriously as a parody of a world video game champion anymore. Particularly when his advice for boss fights is to kill the boss.
You must kill the god of death.
There's just one more game, I can do this.
Surf design. In surf design, you've got to ride
Skip?
the rails. Avoid
Are you not allowed to say the full name of the game? I know TNC Surf Designs is the name of a business, but Wood and Water Rage is just part of the name of the game. There's not much to this, as it's just the same 2 levels over and over with slightly different obstacles for one of them, so giving tips for it seems kinda pointless. He does explain how to score points and go over some tricks and obstacles alright. I'm not as familiar with this game, so I can't be 100% sure. Though the footage keeps jump cutting mid-run, particularly when Skip says,
Watch this move.
and they cut away because the timer was going to run out before he reached the finish line. In the surf section, he says to maximize the hang time, but as usual, he doesn't say how. The video then abruptly changes to a pair of gloves in an empty void, claiming they are, in fact, Skip Rogers.
Oh, so that's where Sakurai got the idea from.
It's my favorite because it's cordless. It also has automatic firing and slow motion.
So he likes it because he can cheat with it. Wait, isn't this the same controller the US National Video Game Team used in that Secret Codes and Strategies video?
As a special bonus, you can call Bishu, and they'll send you a brochure and a special note from me, Skip Rogers, World Video Game Champion.
If anyone out there has this note, reach out to me. I have a need.
All that's left is a teaser for the next video, which... these are the same games he covered in the first tape, over the same narration from the first tape. Wait, which one came first? Either way, this is such a sloppy copy-paste job that the credits still include a baseball consultant. For a 2-video series with no baseball video games and no footage of or even someone mentioning baseball. And what's left to say, really? This has the same problems as the other video, and at times it's even more blatant that he either doesn't know the games, doesn't know what's going on, or the footage is spliced together, either to give him more power-ups and items he shouldn't have, or to cut away from him dying, or rather the person playing the game who definitely isn't him dying. And if you don't count Skip using his Mickey Mouse gloves to shill a third-party cheat stick, there are less than 20 minutes of tips in this video. Tips which are often him explaining stuff that could be found in an instruction booklet. Even ignoring the advice he gives that's flat out wrong, why does he keep explaining the basics of a game if whoever's watching the video wants tips for these games and, presumably, already knows the basics? And why does his advice constantly stop before the levels of games where players likely need help the most?
Well, we know the answer to that. Skip doesn't actually play these games, and the people they rope in to play them for him aren't good enough to get past certain points. His advice is actually so generic at times that someone on YouTube spliced his dialogue together to make parody tip videos.
You've got to work your way through a complicated world. Fast reflexes help too. Be sure to make a map. This is a hard game, so keep practicing. If your reflexes are good and you've got a multiple fire joystick, you'll have no trouble. They can't hit you when you switch rooms.
By the way, since they've shown up across multiple videos now, what happened to Bishu, that controller maker? Oh, they tried and failed to sue Sega, went deep into debt, and lost a suit over an unpaid bank loan that led to Chapter 7 bankruptcy. AKA the kind where everything gets sold off and the company stops existing. If only they had used the Skip Rogers technique to avoid this. You know, right before they go bankrupt, jump cut to a different time when you had more money.